All right. Good morning. Sorry, just waiting for a couple of people to come in here. Lawn Pizza, what's up, baby? Cool buds and tasty waves, or tasty buds and cool waves. Gary T, good morning. Welcome back, sir. How's the audio and video? Okay. Okay, Langbo. Ricky, USA. Good morning, sir. Welcome back. Thank you, sir. Good audio and video. It always looks so bad on my end. It's probably because I don't have my, when I was over in Daewoo, I had quite the nice studio set up with the front light, and the video just looks so much better. It always looks so bad on my laptop. What's happening? Sunday night in the United States of America. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Barangay Pampang. Koreatown, Angela City. How's everybody doing? Doing good? Good to hear. All you football fans are winding down now. I guess the games are about over, or maybe there's still a game on. I think there was a game that was still on this time last Monday. The late afternoon game. Yeah, Ricky, I'm not using the software StreamYard right now. I've got to get that. I have to get that all set back up, and I think to use it, I have to resubscribe to it, and it's, I don't know, $19 or something, or I just haven't done it yet. I'm just actually just using YouTube and going in. I might be able to set it up through YouTube. I've got to get back into this, and I haven't investigated that, but I think I can preset it in YouTube now. I don't need to use the StreamYard software. Peter T, good morning. Junior just went to sleep, 7 a.m. in the morning. He did an all-nighter. We've got to figure out, at 18 months, his nap schedule. So, of course, Mike Foodie, good morning. He's going to have, a couple of naps a day. We're going to have to try to figure out how to get him. There are some nights where it's perfect. He naps right at the perfect time, and he'll sleep all night long. And then there's those nights where he'll nap. He'll wake up at 1 a.m. and he's ready to rock. I mean, he wants to get out of the playpen, walk around the house. And Jonah and Junior just laid down to go to sleep, 7 a.m. in the morning. which means they won't be up till about 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Chile, Ontario, Canada. Ooh. Yeah, that's one thing I don't miss about being stuck in the U.S. during pandemic. I was in Indiana, and that was a shocker, being in that cold weather. Think about ditching the vape. Nobody really knows the damage to the lungs over time. Push-ups and shadow boxing. Yeah, I know, Long Pizza. I actually quit smoking altogether back in 2006, and then just started back up about a year ago. So that's the problem with being a smoker, is it's always that, it's being out with the MC and you're just around it all the time, and it just takes that one cigarette, and man, you're back. Manuel Kamomat, good morning, sir. Gary T, any plans to visit the States with the family? No. No plans at all. Just sounds like a lot of work to me. Jonah can't go. Jonah could. I'm sure that we could secure a tourist visa for Jonah, but no, there's no plans to do that at all. Not right now, anyway. There's not enough money to do something like that right now. Hopefully in the future, we might be able to pull something like that off. We're just trying to get Junior to the point where we can do an 1.5-hour flight to Cebu to go see his grandparents. Oh, there's Jonah. She's not sleeping. She's watching the live. She's in the other room watching the live. Jonah Donah, you can come over here and say hello on cam to everybody since you're still awake. I'm Chinaman. I'm Chinaman. I'm so shy, Daddy. She might come in here and say hi. Shout out, guys. All right, we've got 10 people in here. How about that? Not bad. Not bad for a struggling YouTuber trying to get back into the game. Hit the like button. Mike and Marichu, good morning. From Virginia, baby. Tony Jr.'s favorite food? He loves just about any fruit. He loves bananas. He loves mangoes. He's a fruit kid. He loves rice too, believe it or not. He's a rice hound. So his typical meal will be whatever we're eating. If it's fried chicken that I've cooked, or liempo or adobo, Jonah will take, pieces of the adobo and break it up really small and mix it in with his rice. But yeah, he loves mangoes, bananas, grapes. What else? That's about it. He's got a great diet, And then he's still on his formula too. He's still on his baby formula. So as a supplement. But yeah, he's got Ricky, he's not a picky eater. He does not like chocolate though. Can't stand chocolate. We've tried a couple of times. If we're, even like ice cream, like the chocolate covered, they have something here called a, the vanilla ice cream that's covered with the chocolate on a stick. Does not like chocolate. So he's going to be like daddy. He doesn't like sweet stuff. He doesn't seem to like anything that's sweet. Which is good. I mean, that's fruits and vegetables are a healthy diet for a young. He's not quite a toddler yet. I guess he would still be considered an infant. But that's not a bad diet, for a young child. He's not eating anything that's greasy, or he doesn't seem to like French fries either. Has the bike sold? The Sniper has not sold yet, but I've got 3 different people working on it, so it shouldn't be long. It might be, a bad time to have a bike on the market. I mean, if it takes a couple of months, I've got no problem with that. We don't need the money. It would just be nice because I've spent the money on the NMAX. It'd be nice to recoup a big chunk of that. Are you going to trick out the new NMAX? I don't know, Mikey. Mike Foodie. I've already got a top box for it. I don't know if I'm going to trick it out as much as R2D2 was. I mean, that was had a lot of carbon fiber parts on it, and I kind of get the feeling that maybe that put a target on my back. Maybe that was one of the reasons we got robbed, because my bike was just too cool. So I'm trying to rethink. I mean, we're not worried about getting robbed out here. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, lawn pizza. I'm not a big fan of pizza because I consider it really heavy. Pizza's maybe once a month for us. The the R2D2, although I didn't do any of those upgrades to that bike. It was my mechanic that did all of the upgrades and then sold it to me. I just don't know. I want to do the things that make it more comfortable. The hooks on the front to hang plastic bags. I've got the top box now, and I've got all that underseat storage. So yeah. AirTag, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Do those things, my buddy Chris has those. Do they have to be recharged? Or is it like 2 years on a battery or something? I don't know much about those AirTags. Do they have to be recharged? Or is it just a battery insert that makes them work? Get a couple of Cane Corsos. Yeah, but then you got to deal with all that shit. I mean, even when we had our little Shih Tzu, uh, the cleanup, from her she was a pretty good dog. She would go outside most of the time, but the battery lasts a couple of years. Okay. So it's like a watch battery out. I mean, it doesn't. The unfortunate thing is when your motorbike gets stolen here. Now, again, I'm just relaying to you my experience. Okay. When your motorbike gets stolen here, which mine was, it showed up on Facebook Marketplace about 5 days after it was stolen. And I went back to the PNP and gave them the website, the link, and they did nothing for me. So even if I had an AirTag in it and it was pinging and I could show proof where it was at, unless I'm going to pay, fork some money over, they're not going to do anything for you. It's just the way it is here. They knew exactly where my bike was. All they had to do was set the guy up and go get it. Most AirTags are used to stalk ex-girlfriends. Oh my God. There's just My God, that's talk about bored. I mean, if you're stalking your ex-girlfriend, come on now. Lawn Pizza has a Shih Tzu or a cane. Oh, you have a cane Corso. Jeez, that's a big dog, right? They don't. They have what, like a 7-year lifespan, maybe? Inmex for Mama, Sniper for Junior, the trike for Daddy. Ah, someone who wants to put me on the trike, and Junior's going to take the Sniper. He's not quite ready for the Sniper. Mike, Doc Mike. Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Do you think PI is not as safe compared to when you first got there? I don't know, Gary. I tell you what, I was sure shocked when we got robbed in Daeu. It was a shocking experience, especially when I lived in such a shady area in Manila. You know, North Caloocan was pretty shady, you guys. And it was just, you know, I'm not even going to say that we let our guard down because we didn't, but we became a target. One of the reasons may have been that Inmax R2D2. Maybe it's not such a good idea to walk, to ride around with such a tricked out bike. It pisses people off, You've got that crab mentality here in the Philippines. And, maybe they looked at that Inmax and goes, oh, we're going to get that fucker. He thinks he's cool. Just wait long. I mean, the best thing that we could have done was to move out of there. CJ Abroad, good morning. Just watched your video, brother. Lawn Pizza. You had two. Ah. Maximus, good morning, brother. Where you been? Yeah, I actually bought an X-Max. I bought an X-Max a year and a half ago. It belonged to a good friend of mine, Chris Calbo. And, I made the same mistake all over again. I had this X-Max, and he decked this bike out. It was 100% carbon fiber red. He removed all the panels and had carbon fiber red panels all the way around. This bike was fucking trick, you guys. Beautiful. And then I fell into my funk and I never rode it. And I sold it. I got rid of it because I said, shit, what am I doing? I'm doing it all over again. I just had this N-Max that was tricked out. Now I've got an X-Max that's twice as beautiful. Anyway, he spent a lot of money on the carbon fiber panels. Maybe I'll post some pictures. I tell you what, it was something, you guys. And that X-Max, whoo, the power, that's a 300cc. I know, Maximus, I'm just giving you shit. Maximus is my favorite troll, non-troll. Jim Schultz, good morning. Yeah, Maximus, I have this problem that I deal with every now and then. It makes me crawl down in a hole and hide for a little while. Fortunately, I don't have the problem now. So once a proper introduction has taken place, they will now guard your guests. Yeah. It's the same with pit bulls. Everybody, the pit bull has such a bad rap. It's all in how they're raised. I had a buddy. The ADV is not bigger. It's a 160, Ricky. He sold me his X-Max because he wanted to buy a car. And I jumped on it because the bike was badass. I shouldn't have bought it. but I did. I mean, that bike, that X-Max that I had sold in 2 days. It was so tricked out. The guy who came to buy it was just like, man, this bike is beautiful. It was like a show bike, you know? And that was another thing. You're afraid to take it out because, you know, you've got that crab mentality here. Somebody might just take their key and just scratch it and go, fuck you, Kano. That's what you deal with here. Yeah, Maximus. It's a fun bike. Have you seen the, oh, you bought the 2024. I just saw those last week when I bought the NMAX. Yeah, the X Max. See, I'm a big T Max fan. I've always loved that. Although it's very expensive. It's just something to sit on that thing. And the technology that goes into that T Max is unbelievable. Have you heard any news about the fire in Manila? Well, they got it out. There was actually 2 fires. There was one yesterday morning, and then another one about 6 p.m. last night in some other part of Manila. Of course, the one yesterday morning was in Tondo, and it took out a bunch of homes. The X-Max, Mike Foodie, is 300 and I want to say about 310K, something like that. Maximus. I think the price tag on it was 310, 330, something like that. What is that? 6,000 US? There you go, 306K. Okay. Yeah, the dealership that I bought from had 2 of them on the floor. They are they are pretty cool. $302 cash. Yeah, so that's less than 6,000 US. 5,800, something like that. 5,700. That's the thing, you know, and that's a nice bike. CJ Abroad, yeah, Maximus just said that he couldn't wait for the ADV 360 to come, or 350. Well, even the new NMAX won't be here in the Philippines until the dealership's saying March, April, May. They're hoping to get one. So it's got some kind of mapping on it. It's got a high-tech chip in it that maps it for what they call turbo, but I don't know how much more money they're going to charge for that. But Mike Foodie, the new NMAX is 151. It varies. It's 151 to 153, depending on where you go. And then you're going to have to pay a little bit for your registration. So I think I got out of the dealership at 155K. Less than $3,000. It's just so nice going back. You know, when you go from a sniper that has no storage anywhere and you've got to wear a backpack to pick stuff up. Yeah, registration is 3 years here, you guys, on a new bike. If you buy a new bike from the dealer, the registration is 3 years. So, I mean, that's a plus. That alone is a reason to buy a new bike because you don't have to deal with LTO at all. And then, like CJ says, you buy a new bike and then you just drive it off a cliff right at the 3-year mark and you go buy another new bike. So you don't have to deal with LTO. I did. Maximus says it's only 1 year if it's under 200 cc's. I don't know. Ricky, exactly. That was one of the reasons. Not only not only is there stress on the forearms, but now I've got a backpack on that's loaded down with, vegetables, bacon, whatever we buy from Fresh Options, the meat, because I always overshop, and now I've got a 28-pound pack on my back and that damn sniper. So yeah, it's nice just to not have anything, not have to wear a backpack and have everything in the top box or under the seat. I mean, I've got 45 liters of storage in the top box, and I think the seat is also 40 liters or better. Not dead yet. Hey, buddy. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Thanks for supporting a struggling YouTuber. Not struggling, really. I always say that. I couldn't give a shit, tell you the truth. I just do this because I'm bored. Mike Foodie, my son is visiting the Philippines in February. Can he get his visa extension in Clark Airport? For 3 months. Mike Foodie, I'm pretty sure that you can. Although, if he can't, tell him not to worry about it. It's just no big deal. If he's coming in on a tourist visa, he's going to get 60 days. So tell him to apply for a tourist visa. That way you get 60 days on entry. Jeff, you're in, where did you go? Bangladesh or some damn place? You went somewhere weird that you told me. I can't remember where you said you were flying off to. I met Jeff. Check out Jeff's channel. I met Jeff. Was that the Tyson fight? It was the Tyson fight, right? And you flew. Oh, come and say hello, Mama. Everyone's asking about you. Come on, baby. You're always beautiful.
I'm sleeping.
Just poke your head in here and say hello.
Hello, guys.
Look what she's got. No, show. Look what she's got. Look who I got addicted. Jonah had never had. Got these at Pure Gold Clark last week. Jonah had never had a Pop-Tart. Imagine that. And now she's like, oh my God.
Ooh, masarap.
Masarap, baby.
How are you there? What's up? What's up? I'm going to sleep and may eat this first.
Jonah Donut with the Pop-Tarts. Yeah. She's already eaten one box by herself.
See that?
Oh, that's not it either. Guess what else she got addicted to? Let's show her. How about that? And we keep forgetting. Ricky says he eats Pop-Tarts right out of the box. Yeah. Go ahead. Show him. Now say masara.
Wow. So good, guys.
Shake it, baby. Boom. 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 You're not shaking it. There you go. Boom. 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 Pretend like we're in Insomnia Bar. Boom. 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 Jonah likes the girls at Insomnia. She says they all have big butts. She's like, these girls are sexy. They all have big butts. Ah, you're in Malaysia. Okay.
Oh, 30?
No, Jeff, what I was saying was not just coming in on entry. You apply for the tourist visa. ahead of time through the embassy. They send it to you. That gets you 60 days on entry. And I think it's only $10 or something to get the visa. Jonah Dona eating the Pop-Tarts, baby. You eating her done.
Yeah, baby. So good. Masarap.
Ricky, what's your favorite flavor of Pop-Tarts? I like the blueberry and the strawberry.
I like the strawberry, guys.
Yeah, she's strawberry.
Masarap. I want to go in the bella, but I'm hungry.
Strawberry. S'mores flavored. Oh, yeah. I've seen those, CJ. Show her the Sir Mix-a-Lot video. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff, you can get depending on where you're at, you can just walk into the Philippines embassy and apply. And then it goes in your, you know what I mean? It goes in your passport, the visa. For like $10, you get 60 days, and that's totally worth it, right? Because then you don't have to, yeah, Cherry. This live stream's all over the place. First, we're talking about motorcycles. Now we're talking about Pop-Tarts. That's right, CJ. It's called a 9A visa. Sorry. Thanks, CJ. I knew that because I got one during pandemic, and I came in, or you had to get a 9A. That was the only way you could come back during pandemic, was to get a 9A. They weren't allowing, at that time, they weren't allowing tourists. That was only for family. Once they opened up the floodgates and allowed the families to come back to the Philippines, you had to apply for a 9A. That's correct. Thanks, CJ. I would have never remembered that, you know. Anyway, we got 17 people in here. We're bar hopping with the Thunder MC boys on Friday night. Ace Bachelor Cool even joined us. And yeah. Yeah, it was only about a month, right, CJ? I got back on November 11th. I landed in Manila. November 11th. And I think they opened up in March or April, right, of 2022? March, maybe. Ricky goes to the travel agency. Yeah. I've always, wondered why people did that, especially here in Angeles, because extending the visa is so easy. But then I've been told now by several people that if you go through the travel agency, you don't have to pay the express fee. So it actually costs about 500 pesos less to go through the travel agency, I guess. I don't really know because I never did it. I always went over to Marquee Mall myself. Now, I only had to do this twice before I got my SRV that I'm on now. Mike says, during pandemic, I had to go see my mom for her surgery. The only way I could get back was a 9A. Yeah. Well, at least you're able to come back, Mike. When I left, they didn't open up Philippines for family members until like September of 2021. So there was almost 12 months, I think, where you were just completely locked out. Even the OFWs couldn't come back. If you guys remember, it was mid-February. Yeah. When I was extending myself, it was $14.50 for a 1 month extension. 1,450 pesos for 1 month. So I think at that time I was getting 2 month extensions, and it was 2,900, something like that for 2 months. CJ says that is true about the travel agency. You avoid the... So when I was doing mine now, just so you guys know, when I was doing it myself, I'd go over to Marquee Mall. I'd get there right when they open. So there was no bullshit. I was always like the second guy in line. And then I go back about 2 hours later to get the extension. So if you told them, you can tell them not to charge you the express fee. I have no idea what that involves, though. Does that involve coming back the next day or... But yeah, I mean, if a travel agency will do it for you, why not? Why not just go that route? Well, this is going to get me some views. Jonah Dona eating Pop-Tarts on the live. That should have been my title. Oh, wait, let me go in and correct the title. Jonah Dona eating Pop-Tarts live on Philo in the Philippines. How to exploit your Filipina. Put her on cam and make her eat Pop-Tarts. Americans will love her. Yeah, CJ met Mark. Didn't you guys meet somebody else too? Texas Filipino or somebody? Ah, there's no way around the express fee at Marquee Mall. Okay. Because I know years ago, when I was doing my extensions at SM North, you could tell them no express fee. And then they would tell you come back in 3 days. So you could get around it at SM North back in the day. It is not the money issue with the extension. It's just the hassle of learning a new process. Yeah. Yeah. Well, from now on, that's what I'm going to recommend that people do. I never understood it at first. I always questioned, why would you go to a travel agency when it's so easy to do? And then I realized that you don't have to pay the express fee. So, yeah, if it saves you money. So anyway, back to my story. See how easily I get sidetracked? We're out bar hopping with Thunder MC and Walking Street, you guys. This is Friday night. Completely dead.
No more tourists?
We peeked into 6 bars that had no customers. Not a single customer in the bar. Yeah. Well, now you know. The more you know, the more you know.
I think they have a lot of, bars nandun also.
Yeah, there's a lot of bars. Also, Skins Gentlemen's Club, the newest bar on Walking Street, is closed. Only...
They have a lot of bars that the tourist is not a lot.
Skins Gentlemen's Club, the newest bar, 3-story bar on Walking Street. Foreigner owned by the same guy that owns 69 Rock Bar, Brian, can't remember his last name.
Brian Adams. Joke lang.
Brian Adams. It's not Brian Adams. Maximus, yeah, thank God the Koreans are here. If the Koreans weren't here, I don't know what would become of the Angeles bar scene. And the thing is, the Koreans aren't necessarily hanging out in the bar and buying drinks. They come early in the morning, grab their girls, and they bring them back out here to Koreatown. So if it wasn't for the Koreans, I don't know what kind of state of affairs, the entertainment district would be in.
District.
A special cool entertainment district. What snack food do you miss from the West? Good question. What snack food do you miss from the West? Let me think about that for a minute, Mike, because most of what we have in the West is available if you go to the right store here.
Tacos.
Tacos. We can get tacos. What we need is an oven. so that we can make our own tacos. You got to heat those crunchy shells up, you know. Or, I mean, we could just make, they do have the mission style tortillas available in a lot of stores. Yeah. Doc Mike, I heard now that, well, that was supposed to be a Wolfpack bar. That was going to be a Wolfpack bar. He was partnering with them. And the chismis is that, you know, it's only chismis, but the chismis is that Wolfpack kind of turned their back on him once he opened up. Pretty large scale venture anyway for Walking Street, a 3-story bar. The first floor was supposed to be go-go. The second floor was supposed to be a sports bar. And the third floor, I think, a restaurant, if I have that right. You may know more, Mike, but I mean, you got to feel for the guy, especially when he thinks he's going into business with this big conglomerate. And again, it's only chismis. I don't know. But I can tell you this, that chismis is from a very reliable source. Mike Foodie, yeah. Wasn't the Mikos guy involved with Skin too? Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think you're right. What is his name? The black guy that owns Amigos Tacos.
I know. Amigos. I know. No more now.
Oh, it was already a Wolfpack bar when he assumed it. Okay. See, that's what I mean. I've been out of the game so long, and I don't really follow the chismis anyway. Never knew you had to bake those hard corn tortillas. No, Maximus, you can eat those hard shell tacos right out of the box, but if you throw them in the oven, they're really good.
That's what this mozzarella.
Tacos, yeah, that's one of Jonah's favorite foods.
No more than that.
Tacos. Yeah, killed that box. It was already a Wolfpack bar, level 3. That's what it was called. Yeah. I remember going in there when it was level 3, and I was stunned at the size of the place. This was a few years back, 2019 or something. Chef says he used an air fryer. We don't have an air fryer either. But the one thing that we're going to buy is an oven, because you can do, it just expands your cooking. Right, Mike Foodie?
Yeah.
We've only got a stovetop now, so we're kind of cooking, you know,
No more now.
Rachel Ray style. Just, if you have an oven, it just expands what you can do. Jealousy amongst bar owners. I don't know. I can tell you this. The owner of Skin Gentlemen's Club had to bar find a bunch of girls from another bar for his opening night. And there was a couple of other bar owners that told him getting girls is going to be tough. You know, your biggest challenge is going to be finding girls for the bar. Because when you've got a bar that big, even with 100 girls, it looks like there's nobody in there, you know. It was Wolfpack prior to pandemic. Yeah. Well, Crystal Palace had an exit out the back, didn't it? Jeff? Tacos in the PH cannot compare to tacos in SoCal or even cities that have large. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Maximus, is there's no really authentic Mexican here. But you know, the crunchy tacos are a nice alternative. Those are American tacos, really. Ricky says an air fryer is a good deal. Everybody says air fryer is a good deal. Club Asia and Baby Dolls had exits out the back. That's correct. I thought Crystal Palace did too. I thought you could go into Crystal Palace from the back. Of course, it's just sat there dead. Yeah. Club Asia, that was a good one, right? Club Asia used to have really hot girls at that lame ass swimsuit competition at Scorebirds. Yeah. Yeah, Dollhouse and Crystal Palace were connected, right? Good night, honey. Jonah's done. She's got a belly full of Pop-Tarts. She's going to go sleep now. Almost 8 in the morning. Make your own tortillas. I could do that, but it's so hot here at Lawn Pizza. And we've got a dirty kitchen outside. The rear exit of Crystal Palace was Dollhouse. There you go. Mike Foodie, yeah. Does anyone remember the Bedrock Bar? I sure don't. Of course, I didn't come here till 2014. My first trip was 2014, so. Sexy Pebbles from Flintstones. The Dirty Kitchen fan and music. Make your own tortillas. Yeah, you could do that. You really should have the press though, right? You should have that press. That's what was cool about going to the Mexican restaurants in Southern California. The mama and papa shops where they made all of their own corn tortillas. Man. Something else I like doing is taking the flour tortillas and frying them. That's tasty. Mike Foodie had a restaurant called the Bedrock Bistro. Ah, nice. Yeah. So anyway, I'm no conspiracy theorist on Walking Street, but it didn't look good for a Friday night at 10 p.m. I can tell you that. And we're in high season now here, so. The Bedrock Bistro. Mike Foodie, are you still operating a restaurant to this day? Or did you sell everything off? I'm getting back into the Korean spa. Man, you just feel, I tell you what, guys. First one, those Koreans, they know what the fuck they're doing. There's Korean spas all over this city. More than I even knew about. Yeah, you just feel like $1 million when you get out of there. There's nothing like sweating all the toxins out of your body. In 3 years, Angeles will look like Mario Barreto. One Life Man. I still remember you getting old, man. Same here. Thank you, One Life Man. Ah, Mike retired in 2011. Good for you. Yeah, I always talk about the restaurants here in Angeles. And I still stand firm in saying that the best restaurants are out here in Koreatown. Pappy's does a pretty good job. The problem with a lot of the restaurants here, now I'm talking Balabago area, the entertainment district. When you've got a menu with 250 items on it, and Mike is going to agree with me on this, I know, because he's in the business, the food's only going to be so good, you guys. You know what I mean? A menu of 250 items. I mean, that might sound awesome to some people, but at the end of the day, it lowers the quality of the food. Right, Mike? Am I right there, Mike? Best restaurants in the world have set menus where you walk in and they just ask you want pork, chicken, or fish. Or they have 10 items on the menu that they focus on. And then you're getting good food. I mean, I'm not going to call any restaurants out, but that's a big problem here. There's just too goddamn many items on the menu. Excuse me. Just watched a video about taking a sauna 2 times a week. Yeah, this isn't just a sauna, Jeff. These Korean the Korean spas have the sauna. They've got the giant cold dip pool and a giant hot dip pool. So you typically want to start out in the sauna, 5-10 minutes, however long you can stand. The sauna that I was in was 63°C. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. You go from the sauna to the cold dip. Well, from the sauna, obviously, to the shower first, then the cold dip. Then you do the hot dip, then back to the cold dip. So whenever you do the hot, you want to shock the body with the cold. And you want to do 4 rounds of that if you can. It takes about an hour and a half. And man, when you get it, first of all, you lose about 2 or 3 pounds of weight. And you just feel fantastic, You just feel so good when you get out of there. For me, it takes away some of my upper back pain. It takes away all the knee pain. It even, clears up a lot of your dry skin because you're just getting out all the impurities. Doc Mike, thanks for joining the live stream. If you're gone already, sorry I missed your exit. Maximus says a few items like those hawker stations in Singapore. Yeah. Mike Foodie, see, I told you. I'm not a school-trained chef, but I know my shit. Thanks to Anthony Bourdain. 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Whew. Yeah. Make fewer items, focus on them, and it's also easier on your line cooks. Imagine being a line cook, in a restaurant that has 250 items. You're pumping out tacos 1 minute. The next order is a German schnitzel with sauerkraut. What a fucking nightmare. And then the order after that is Italian-style spaghetti. Jesus, what a fucking nightmare. If I was a Tequila Reef owner, I'd switch over to Mexican food only and just focus on that. Just serve really good Mexican food. Go authentic, because you can do it here. They serve an excellent beef tapa, which they could use for tacos. And then you've got your chicken and pork. They could roast a big pork butt and make carnitas, really good carnitas. Get rid of all of the German food that's on the menu. You know, maybe keep the Filipino food, but because, you know, your Filipino is going to be with you. Long Pizza, they're pretty good, but they suffer the same problem. They've got too much food on their menu. I've had some bad meals there, trust me. But the breakfast beef tapa is absolutely delicious there at Tequila Reef. They use a high quality skirt steak, and yeah, it's good. The steak is never chewy. There's never any gristle in it. Mike food is like a menu full of leftovers. Exactly. So anyway, that's your pro tip of the day. If you open up a restaurant, don't have 200 items on your menu. Don't try to appeal to every country that's visiting. Because guess what? Nowadays, most of those countries don't even visit anymore. Start serving Korean food if you want to be successful. But anyway, out here where we live, you guys, my God, the food is just incredible. Because it's not that way. There's 10 items on the menu here. 10, 20 at the max. All of these coffee shops and cafes up and down Friendship Highway are fantastic. And they're not overpriced. And it's just, you know, it's really good. My favorite was the beef tapa. Yeah. I never get sick of it, Mike. I eat at Tequila Reef at least once a week. I'll eat there more if I have to go out and run errands, because like I said, Joan and the baby are asleep. Joan and the baby don't get up till noon most days. Today it'll be 3 p.m. or later even, the Junior, because he sleeps like a rock. When he goes down, he is out. That kid will sleep for 10 hours. Tequila Reef deep fries their bacon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got to you have to pan fry your bacon. There's right and wrong ways to do everything. Although, Mike Foodie, I've made some pretty damn good bacon in the microwave before. You got to have the big microwave. Lay the bacon down on paper towels, then cover it with paper towels, and let it go about 3 minutes. I mean, it's a lazy man's way of making it, but you don't have the cleanup, you know, and it came out pretty good. But yeah, there's nothing like pan frying your bacon. That's, you know, we get bacon from Angel's Bakery. It's really good. It's 300 pesos for a half a kilo of bacon from Angel's. And it's pretty much the best bacon that I've found so far. Again, I haven't shopped at S&R or oven baked. Yeah, I've done it that way too. My brother taught me that in Indiana. Oven baked on a cookie sheet. Right? Well, we're all over the place. Oh, I want to tell you guys something that happened. We were sitting there at Tequila Reef on the rail, me and Ace Bachelor Cole. This is about 5 p.m. on Friday night. And right about 5:30, we look over. Yeah, Ricky, I haven't been to Peaky's yet. I got to try Pinky's out. Right about 5:30. We look over to the left, and there's all these beautiful Filipinas walking towards us, right? They're coming up from Walking Street, and they're going to make a right there in front of Tequila Reef. So I start counting them. You know, me and Ace are like, what's going on here? Where are these girls going? I counted 21 girls and 5 Koreans walking behind them. So these guys went in and find a whole bar, maybe. I don't know. These 5 Korean guys went in and just took the whole bar, shut the lights off, and everybody went home. And I mean, these were top shelf girls, you guys. I mean, that's all the Koreans hire anyway. You go to any one of the Korean bars, these are going to be the best looking girls in the city. It's the way the pool party used to be. The pool party used to have the top girls from the city in it, the bikini competition. Most restaurants oven bake their bacon. Yeah, that's probably more efficient, right, Mike, in a restaurant environment? I would imagine. Or you would think that they would grill it limber, grill the bacon limber, and then as the customer orders it, put it back on the griddle. I don't know. There's always little tricks that restaurants use, you know, like for baby back ribs or something. They might braise the ribs in the oven, and then they can cover that big pan of braised ribs, and then pull them out and put them on the grill as the customer orders. I don't know. I know there's little tricks that restaurants use to get around. Yeah, Jeff, living the life. And I don't mean just 21 bar girls. I mean 21 top shelf girls. They were going out to party. And then sure enough, Mark Doyle, good morning. While we're out there, me and Ace left. We were already billed out when this happened. So we left and we kind of followed them to see where they were going. They went around up to the front where Envy used to be. And here came the hotel vans, 4 white vans from the hotels, picked them all up, took them back out to Koreatown. So yeah, those guys were about to throw it down. Those Korean guys, they were just about to throw it down. That's going to be quite the dining bill, though. You know, 21 Filipinas at the old Korean barbecue. Hey, that's how you do it. You can't blame those guys. You know, they are a 3-hour plane ride away. So a lot of those guys, they get off work on Friday, 4 p.m. They're at the airport by 6. They're on Walking Street by midnight. Or they're on Walking Street by 10 p.m. $88 pounds of bacon. Holy shit. So if you're doing that in the oven and the bacon is now, I guess there's not really a huge case for serving hot bacon, is there? Bacon is something you can serve cold for breakfast. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, Jeff, exactly. That's a good analogy. It's like we Americans who live in the U.S., you know, you can get to Vegas pretty easy. I could drive to Vegas in 2.5 hours from where I lived. Ricky, yeah. Now here's the thing about the Koreans, though. They're not spending their money in Balabago. They're only taking the girls. They take the girls out of the bar. I have never seen like 8 guys, because they always travel in big packs. You don't see them go into the bar and start drinking like we Americans do. They go in there, just to get the girls. And this is like 10 a.m. in the morning. And then they're off they go. They come back out here to Koreatown. So that's the only downside. The Koreans don't want to be in Balabago because it's probably kind of dirty for them. I mean, they're coming from Seoul, one of the most beautiful cities in Asia. They come from Seoul to here, and most of those Koreans are walking around with a mask on because they're probably scared they're going to catch something. They see, grown men pissing on the side of Kokomos. I'm sure this is a pretty dirty place to them. But out here in Koreatown, it's not so bad, right? I see. Put it on the griddle. That's what I'm thinking. So there was an effort to serve the bacon warm. I see what you're saying. K bars are grocery stores where the older bars was a place to party. Yeah. And I've had, we've got 3 Korean bars on Walking Street. Thunder MC does. And they're all great fun. Great fun, especially Sensations Bar. Man, what a lineup. But out here, they've got all these restaurants, KTV that, and I never really realized it before, but I found out recently because my massage girl moved from one place to my massage girl moved into a Korean hotel out here, which required taking the back streets off of Friendship and going up some of the back. I never realized how many Korean hotels there are out here. There's tons of them. Back around 2007, there were no go-go bars on fields open in the daytime. Yeah, well, it was even like that, Ricky, as late as 2019. Even though Bar Nana was there and Bad Boy, they've been there. Those were the only 2 Korean bars for years, but they weren't opening up at 9 a.m. Now, Ricky, we have a habit of after breakfast at Tequila Reef, we go and take a tour to see what's going on. But now there's 10, 12 bars open at 9 a.m. Ounce Willis, good morning. Or good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. That's right. Nothing opened until 5 back in the day. So, well, except for the perimeter bars. The perimeter bars were the ones that opened at noon. Because the perimeter bar scene has always been a daytime scene. Those bars on perimeter close at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. They still do today. I've met several girls from hanging out with the MC that are working down on perimeter, and they left Walking Street for that reason, because they like the hours better. They don't want to be out until 3 a.m. working, So what else did I want to talk about with you guys or tell you about? That was my big story, the 21 girl bar fine. I mean, can you just imagine? That's throwing it down, man. And what's funny is we were talking to a girl in Sensations Bar, and she said about 90% of the time, if she goes out with a Korean, there's no boom boom. They just party. They bar hop in Koreatown. They might go to KTV. She said 90% of the time. Now, this is just don't kill the messenger, okay? Because I can see the comments already. Philo, you don't know what you're talking about. Those Korean guys are the horniest guys on the planet. I'm just, relaying information. This was from a top shelf bar girl in a Korean bar. You were correct about the ribs. Restaurants would pre-cook them and reheat them as needed. Yeah. And actually, Mike, foodie, that's the way I prefer to cook my ribs. I had this recipe that had a mixture of orange juice, lime juice, and liquid smoke. And you would put the ribs in not a deep pan, but shallow pan, lay them down rib side up in that mixture, the orange juice, lime juice, liquid smoke, and then braise them at 250 for 3 hours. Does that sound crazy, or does that sound like a decent recipe? I tell you what, they came out so good. And then you remove them from that and put them on your grill and add whatever sauce you want. And oh man, I mean, you can just slide that bone right out of there. It was a great recipe. And maybe that's close to how it's done in a restaurant environment. I don't know. It just seems like a better way to cook the ribs. I mean, you can put them on the grill raw, of course, and slow cook them, maybe on low heat. But this braising method, it just seemed to make the meat a lot more tender. And I mean, when you can slide that rib bone out of there, I mean, that's good stuff. You know what I mean? Girls like bar finding in the afternoon, and they can be home by 10 or 11. Yeah. Yeah. Tourists are going to go to another spot. Well, they probably already are. I would imagine Thailand has hurt the tourist industry here quite a bit. Again, I'm no expert, but you know, the whole marijuana legalized thing is going to draw a lot of people there, because that's better than drinking, really. It's better to get a little, you know, even if you're just doing edibles, it's better to have that high than to drink. My God. The capital of the Philippines. Ounce Willis. Aaron Daigle says that soy 6 is cheaper, higher quality, and much safer. Mike Foodie, that's going to happen, brother. All you got to do is message me. You and I are connected through Facebook, I think. So I want that to happen. I want to experience some Mike Foodie food, and we're going to vlog that. Mike's been a subscriber of mine for, all the way back to the Melanie days when I was with her. And even plus you can teach me a few things, you know, because I think I'm a good cook, but I mean, I think I'm better than average only because I've read so many, you know, chef books and shit like that. And I actually put a lot of effort into it. I even had the actual textbook for the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America. I bought that thing. It's like $160. It seems like the Korean tourists are younger than the Americans. Yeah, for the most part. Classic Motorcycle Australia, welcome to the live stream. Where have you been? Secret, Lum. That's a secret, Mike, or a classic. Can't tell you. If I tell you, I got to kill you. Me and Mike Foodie are going to do some cooking. January or February, baby. I better have my oven by then, right? I mean, I've got a pretty good setup out there, but... Or no, I'm sure we would be... Where do you hang out, Mike, when you come here? Your family's not from Pampanga, are they? Don't you end up staying... I know the answer, but I can't remember. Philippines will change in 5 years. Well, I don't know if the Philippines is going to change, but Balabago will change. Walking Street, whether it's there or not, has very little impact on Angeles City. Very, very little impact. It will impact the direct area of Balabago, but it'll have no effect at all in the city of Angeles. There's way more going on here as far as, big corporations and call centers, and Walking Street goes away, it would have very, very little effect on Angeles City as a whole. And a huge effect on Balabago area and the people that rely on, the hotels. Obviously, those hotels are going to, if that was to happen, most of the hotels would go away as well. Ah, La Grande. That's right. Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to that. Clyde Seaside, if Walking Street goes away, the Koreans go away. I don't know, Clyde. Here's something else that I'll tell you about the Koreans. They come here to play golf. I was telling you guys earlier that my massage girl moved. She moved from a big salon here on Friendship over to Koa Hotel, which is behind Friendship a ways. And I walked into the hotel, and the massage is upstairs. I walked into the hotel. There must have been 150 sets of golf clubs in the lobby. From what I understand, golf is very, very expensive in Seoul, Korea, like $200 US for one round. And here they can play golf for probably, about $50 for a round compared to $200 a round in Korea. These guys are huge, huge golfers, almost all of them. So you're right, Clyde, it's going to kill a few of them, but I bet you a lot of them still come. Because there's always Facebook, right? There's always Facebook. And, that's one of the reasons why a lot of the non-Korean owned bars struggle to keep their girls, is because the girls will work for a couple of months and build up a customer base, and then they'll just disappear. They stay here in Angeles, but they just message customers on Facebook for a short time. So it may hurt a lot of the, it makes sense. The Koreans that are here for the girls, it's going to kill that scene, but I never realized until I went into that hotel just how many of these guys are here to play golf. A lot of them. A lot of them. Ricky USA, that is absolutely correct. And you see it every day. 9, 10 a.m., 8, 10 Korean guys walking down Walking Street to get their girls. And they come right back here. The white van picks them up from the hotel. Yeah. Jim Schultz, they absolutely love golf. But it's super expensive there. I mean, most of these guys, they make good money. So there's not a lot of golf courses in Koreatown, Malate. Well, we've got 6 golf courses right here on Clark. And then there's 4 more golf courses within 30 minutes driving, either north or south. So there's 10 places to choose from, roughly. The early worm gets the birds, best birds. Yeah. And from what I hear, Maximus, although I don't know, a lot of these guys develop, friendships with the owners of the bars and the managers, and they just call them and say they want, a certain girl. I don't know that. That's just what I'm hearing. I don't have any firsthand experience with that, but I mean, why wouldn't you do it that way if you've got a favorite and you come back twice a month or something? You know what I mean? A lot of these guys probably come because it's so cheap for them, and the flight is so short. A lot of them probably come a couple times a month. Come play some golf, hang out with their Filipina honeyco. It's not the worst life, right? You can't blame them. I don't blame them at all. It's like the guy said, it's like us going to Vegas for the weekend if you're an American. Is there a golf course in Malati, Clyde? There probably is. Oh, yeah. There's the one that surrounds there's a golf course. That's not Malati, though. That's Ermita, right? The walled city. The golf course is just around the outside of the walled city. Yeah. Bernardo, thank you. It's funny. Intramuros, yeah. I live here, and I've forgotten more than you guys know. I guess that happens when you live here. You just kind of go, yeah, you know that place that has the walled city? Everybody goes, yeah, I know where that's at. You can take a bus there, but you can't remember the name of it. You got to open up Google Maps. That's the Emperador. When you live in the Philippines, you become, funny enough, kind of disconnected from it. Because it's just the same old thing to you, when you live here. You're like, It's called craft. Craft? I like craft beer. Is that what you're saying, Clyde? It's called craft. Now you can see why I have memory issues. I've never heard that one before. Can't remember a fucking thing. Ounce Willis, you've been watching my videos for 8 years. Wow, you've been around that long? Have you changed your YouTube name, by the way? I mean, it wouldn't be, terribly unusual for me to forget. But if you've been around that long, I normally remember. You get used to seeing people in the live stream. Anyway, and also, finally, I think we're getting through rainy season. Man. We've got 4 months of nice weather ahead. November, December, January, February. March is when it starts heating up, but April really is when shit hits the fan here. Our electric bill's only $5K a month now because we're only running this small split type, and we don't run the big one in the living room anymore. In the summertime, it'll go up to 10K a month because we've got to run that big when it gets so hot in that living room. Okay, Ounce. I see. So you were You were a lurker. You were what we call a lurker on the Facebook or on YouTube. Jim Schultz, no, I haven't been back. I wouldn't mind going because I've still got Facebook friends I communicate with that live there. But, you know, it's a hell of a ride. It's 3 hours from here to get to Kelokan on MacArthur Highway. So, no. Will I go sometime? Probably. But that's going to be something I would leave here at, 3 a.m. and do 90% of the ride. It's just, it's one of those things. The traffic and the, wouldn't mind going sometime. But if I did go down there, I would probably, spend the night and then come back at 3 a.m. the next day. It's great if you go early. It's about 2 hour ride if you go when there's no traffic. It could be 3.5 plus. If you happen to find yourself needing to go in the middle of the day, you can forget it. MacArthur, I don't know if they've got MacArthur done now, but it was just ripped up in sections. Yes, I do. I talked to Tito Road, Clyde. I spoke with Tito Road a couple of weeks ago, a week ago maybe. It was his birthday. Yeah, that's what it was. BT and Betty's, I have not. Just pure laziness. I got to dig my golf clubs out of the back room here, which is also Jonah's storage room for her business. I mean, we've got clothes waist high in there. It's hard to even open the damn door. I got to get my golf clubs out and polish them up. Ace keeps telling me that we're going to go. Ounce Willis, yeah, Brian got me a lot of subscribers back in the day. BT and Betty's, it's on my list of things to do. Sunday. Okay. Well, you got to go early, bro. I normally get there at 6 a.m. Right as the sun coming up. This coming Sunday? Excuse me for just a minute, guys. Oh, sorry about that. The only thing I do at 6 a.m. is pee and go back to bed. No, if you're a golfer, that's prime time golf. You tee off at, I've gotten there as early as 5:30. You tee off and you're done by 8 a.m., 8:30 in the morning. You got the whole day ahead of you. You got to be a golfer to understand. Ricky? pee and go back to bed. Yeah, I'm God, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning now. I go from one extreme to the other. I go from laying in bed for 18 hours to I'm lucky if I get 5 hours of sleep now. I'm ready to rock. We've got rain coming this weekend. Yeah, it's so hard to predict the weather here, unless it's rainy season. That's 40%, 50% on Saturday. There's a little something coming. There's a little something going to be out there. They've got 50% on Saturday and 40% on Sunday. So you just never know. Oh shit, you're a night owl. So it's 8:30 where you're at, Ricky? Or 7:30? 7:30 where you live. Sunday night. Took Ren's little KLA to the dealer. Kia. Ren's driving a Kia? Kia something or another? The loaner car was a Ford Ranger tray top. Ford Ranger. Yeah, Ricky. When you can, you're welcome to come over next time you visit Angeles. You can hang with Junior. You can hang with Junior and watch Coco Melon nursery rhymes till 4 in the morning, 5 a.m. Oh, it's 6:30 where you're at. How did that happen? Normally it's okay. Oh no, I'm thinking of my brother. Indiana doesn't change their clocks. Does anyone know if Clark Airport has a money changer? Oh yeah. They've got everything, Mike. Clark is, it's hooked up. Yeah, it's hooked up, brother. Do I watch NFL? Not really. BT and Betty's, I had a lot of problems with it. I mean, when it works, it's fantastic, but I had a lot of problems with it. DJ Joe, what's up, brother? Oxnard, California. Yeehaw. I like the guy a lot, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this product, but I had a lot of problems with it to the point where I didn't renew it. It was only $10,000 for the year. Cheap, right? For what you got. There was even like 80 channels of porn. Did I say that out loud? But just nothing but problems with it. Trying to watch the live NBA playoff games last year. Last year? No, sorry. In July or June, whenever that was. So my subscription to that ended like July 20th or something. And I was gonna, I was kind of on the fence because, like I said, it was working, 70% of the time it worked. But that 30% was always at the worst fucking time. Only 80 channels of porn. Oh, Joe. So, I mean, there's another one. My buddy Chris Calbo tells me there's another one in town and he's never had any problems with his. So, I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm okay with just going to YouTube and watching the 10-minute highlight reel. I'm okay with that. And we're pretty much just Netflix people here in the house. That's Junior's favorite channel, Jonah's. So I don't know if I'll go back to my God, I mean, that service that Lucky offered was what? How many thousands of channels? It would be nice just to have a service that gave you just the USA channels. I mean, his has channels from India, Africa, Indonesian channels. It's just, 10,000 plus channels. And I wonder if that's a part of the problem. I'm wondering if he could gate that off. Smaller servers, less customers, less problems with login. I know a little bit about this because I was in that industry for a while. Sell the American packages to the American guys because I don't give a shit what's on in Africa. You know what I mean? Mike Foodie. I did that too. Trailer Park Boys. Man, that is funny as hell. I like the guy with the Coke bottle glasses. Whew, don't remember his name, but that guy is funny. BT and Betty's, I also tried the VPN. It didn't help me. Yeah, I have the VPN as well. Bubbles, yeah. And what a great nickname, right? It's so appropriate. But man, his demeanor on that and just his character, I mean, what a fantastic actor that guy is. He is funny as hell. And he's like the least fucked up, right? What's funny about Bubbles, he's the voice of reason in the group. And I dig the guy that thinks he's the cop that cruises around in the big Cadillac in the trailer park. He thinks he's the cop of the place. It's a great show. That's Canadian, isn't it? Isn't that a Canadian deal? The Trailer Park Boys? I thought it was. Have I watched The Boys yet? BT and Buddies, is that a movie? The Boys? Boyz. No, isn't that about Tupac Shakur or something? Am I right about that? It comes up on Netflix. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. I'm watching. Oh, it's a comedy. Okay. I'm watching something interesting right now on Netflix. It's called Buy Now. It's pretty interesting. It's only a 90-minute, like a documentary. Buy Now. It's filmed in East Coast Canada, and that is the way they are. Ounce Willis, I have not seen my stepkids, no. And Ira May, my stepdaughter, isn't posting anything on social media anymore. So I don't know. Yellowstone is excellent. Yeah. Yellowstone, that's a page turner. You can't stop watching it. Netflix has a lot of good stuff. That's for sure. There's a lot of Jonah, for some reason or another, got into the Indian movies, the Indian stream on Netflix, and she's completely hooked. She likes Indian documentaries and movies and series. Kevin Costner, yeah. I heard that there was another Yellowstone. Or no, there is another Yellowstone that's out. It's very similar to that. That was only 8 or 9 episodes. It was good too. I think it takes place in Australia, if I remember correctly. Don't remember the name of it though, sorry. But it's just like if you watch the trailer, that's the first thing you think about is Yellowstone. It's all the same premise about a cattle owner who's, going to battle with cattle thieves and but check out Buy Now. It's a real eye-opener. I think it's probably what most people would call left-wing, because it has a little bit to do with the environment too, and but I'm not a political person, so I know, the political crazies will say, oh, you don't want to watch that. That's just a left-wing. I don't know. It's entertaining. It gives you something to think about. Politics makes people just lose their fucking mind. You know what I mean? I try to avoid it. It's just not worth the hassle. Politics and religion, just not worth the hassle. Trailer Park Boys. You know what, Mike? I could watch that again. It's so good. He's just, and they're only like 30-minute episodes, right? If I remember correctly. So you can plow through a bunch of them in a day. And it's just so damn funny. Man. Oh my God. Bubbles. All you can do is laugh when you think about it. Yeah, whoever came up with that. Imagine the writers, sitting around the table, getting high. What are we going to do next week? What are we going to do this episode? That must have been really fun to write. Yeah, politics isn't for friends to speak about. It's just best to stay out of it. I get judged immediately because I spent my adult life in Southern California. You always get that crazy that goes, oh my God, you're one of those California boy. So immediately they have this impression of you, And I'm a Republican, registered Republican. So Jim Leahy, yeah. What's the name of that place to buy good bacon near you, Philo? Angel's Bakery. Angel's Bakery. And somebody mentioned Pinky's, which is, if you know the area, Pinky's is down there on Johnny Street. I believe it's Johnny Street. Like where Euphoria 1 is, make a left down that road, and they're down there on the end, right before MacArthur Highway. I always see Pinky's advertisements on Facebook, but I've never been there. But yeah, Angel's Bakery, pretty damn good bacon, bro. Surla Street. Oh, so Surla is actually the street before Johnny's. Yeah. What about steaks? Steaks, I would say Bretto's. Bretto's on Fields Avenue for steaks. That's the best that I know. Or you can go over to Bellissima Deli House in Hinsonville. They sell their steaks vacuum packed there too. They serve a pretty good steak. If you want to sit down and eat one, go to Pappy's. He's got pretty good steaks. I told you guys last week, Jonah got the ribeye at Pappy's, and it was massive. To cook at home, Bretto's. Bretto's on Fields Avenue, brother. That's the biggest selection that I've seen. I mean, there could be, another place, but Bretto's is the biggest selection I've seen. They've got quite a few. Expensive, but, it's steak. So, you got to pay to play, right? It's one of those things in the Philippines. In the U.S., you can get a hell of a deal. They'll put it on sale somewhere and you can get a hell of a deal. But here, if you want to play, you got to pay, baby. I've bought steaks from Bretto's before. They were good. Ricky says Roompa. AC Roompa. I just rode past Pinky's the other day. And I remember saying, that's where it's at, I got to check this place out. They weren't open yet. It was still early. They didn't open till 10. BT and Betty's, thank you, brother. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures. Another Philippine vlogger. I never tried the steaks at Pappy's. I tell you what, Mike, pretty good, man. Oh, AC Roompa or Rumpa is across the street from Pinky's. Okay. Yeah, they do some pretty good marketing on Facebook for Pinky's. And I'm always saying, man, I got to go back there. Also, Bretto's has a lot of stuff that's, they have a lot of American groceries in Bretto's. Stuff you just can't find at, like, Pure Gold. I had their Philly cheesesteak, Mike Foodie, at Pappy's, and it was a foot-long Philly cheesesteak. My God, what a big mistake that was. I about put myself to sleep trying to choke that thing down. It was huge. Jonah had the tacos. We were there just last week, Thursday. Yeah, Jonah had we're on steak now. See how we go all over the place. Jonah had the ribeye, and that sucker was, close to an inch thick. She ordered it medium, and it came out medium. So, I mean, that's a pretty good sign, right? And it was $1,200 which is not a bad price for a restaurant. $1,200 with all the. She got mashed potatoes. She got mixed vegetables, and there was some kind of a roll with it. I don't remember what it was. Birria tacos at Amigos. Yeah. Oh, we found here's a vlog I can do. We found a new Vietnamese restaurant that's opened up here on Friendship. So I'll let you know how that is, because Vietnamese food is hard to get here. Jeff stays don't you stay at the Drake? Yeah, biscuits and gravy are good. I've had that too. But anyway, we've got a couple of Vietnamese restaurants here on Friendship, and it's just not, you know, there's just you guys got to remember, I'm from Southern California, the largest Vietnamese community in the U.S., and I know good Vietnamese food, so I'm going to be a tough customer. A bowl of pho. I mean, that pho broth has to be perfect. And we ordered from one of the places on Friendship, and it just wasn't it. Again, I'm a really tough Vietnamese food customer because I used to get it cooked fresh for me. I had a Vietnamese girlfriend for 5 years. Jeff, I've been there 3 times, brother. One of my favorite countries. Vietnam is fantastic, especially considering what happened to that country 40 years ago and what it looks like now. It shows you just what can be done, with a little bit of effort. Yeah, Maximus, that was my home away from home. I was about a 30-minute drive from Westminster, but I was up there on my motorcycle, twice a week. The Vietnamese coffee houses that are there, and then all of the fantastic pho restaurants. God. Yeah, Jeff, you'd love it. And you're adventurous. Now, my first trip was in 2007. And we flew from Bangkok up to Hanoi. And then we backpacked from Hanoi to Saigon. So, just fantastic country. And this was before there was even any Western food in Vietnam. Garden Grove for Korean food. Yep. Right on, Maximus. Oh, that was my old stomping grounds. Every weekend I was up there. There's also some great golf courses in Westminster and Garden Grove. Fantastic food. My God. And this is authentic Vietnamese pho where they boil the giant beef bones, for 14 hours to make the broth. I mean, my mouth waters just thinking about it. I can remember coming home and my girlfriend cooking up a big batch of pho, and just that smell when you walk in the front door. There's a certain smell to that pho broth that's just, when it's done correctly, you're like, I know what we're having. Do it, Jeff. Go to Vietnam, baby. Vlog it. Vlog it, baby. Work. Started 20 years too late. Never too late, brother. Just get her done. How much do houses cost in Angeles City? Well, I mean, that's a loaded question, Ounce. They're all over the place. You could build your own house for about 40,000 US. 40 to 60,000. You can build something just awesome. Where I live here, the houses are going for about 200,000 US. So, but that's builder built. Probably best to just build your own. Hire yourself an architect and just build your own. It's cheaper. And you get it the way you want. Your renting, I think, is the way to go. Unless you know for sure you want to stay here for the rest of your life. And, buying a house is really a big commitment in the Philippines. I can't see myself really going anywhere. Jonah loves it here. I like it here. You know, I've got all my friends, and it would be really tough for us to, even Jonah, she would prefer to stay here as opposed to going back to the province. So it would be really hard to, I mean, certainly it's not hard to move to the province. It'd be sure would be hard to come back though. Once you make that move, it'd be pretty hard to come back and start all over here, you know? Yeah, exactly, Maximus. And that's not even enough to push me to buy a house just so I've got something to leave to Junior. That's not even enough, you know? For me, it's a huge commitment. The rent is so cheap here. And anyway, you want to live here, you know, any expat who's coming in, you want to live here for a year or two before you ever make that kind of commitment because, you know, it's just a huge commitment, I think. It's only my opinion. I'm certainly no expert on the subject, but I've been here 7 years now. So I've got a little bit of knowledge about the place. A little bit. I don't know as much as Maximus or Clyde Seaside. Those guys, Clyde especially, and Maximus, always bailing me out when I forget something. We are going to make the online appointment for the U.S. Embassy for Junior to get his passport and his U.S. citizenship, baby. So CJ Abroad just did that with his daughter. Took about 3 months to accomplish. You've got some forms you've got to fill out, or you have to actually print them out and mail them to them. And then you wait for an email. They send you an email with your appointment time for the U.S. Embassy. So we've got to do that now that he's a little bit older and a little bit easier to travel with. Of course, I guess the time to do it would have been when he was about 2 or 3 months old, and he's always sleeping. But he's a pretty good traveler. He's a pretty good kid in public, so that's our next thing. We've got his PSA birth certificate, so we need to get his citizenship, and then we're done with Junior until he goes to school. We've got 4 years before that happens, so all right, guys, it's 2 hours. I'm going to log out of here. I'm thinking about heading out to the Korean spa, sweating out all my impurities. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'll try to come up with some kind of a thing to vlog for you. You know, I need to at least do 1 video a week, right? I can surely pull that off. We head down to that Vietnamese restaurant. I can do a little moto vlog, and then we can vlog the food at the restaurant. That'd be pretty good. I've never seen anybody else vlog this place. It's relatively new, but it's owned by the same guy that owns Sensations Bar. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mike Foodie. See all of you guys next week. Thanks for coming and spending a little time with me and Jonah. Jonah and her Pop-Tart addiction. Yeah, Ricky, that's what I'll do. I've got it all set up. I've got a camera mount. I'm ready to rock. All I got to do is do it. So maybe a little moto vlog because that's easy to do. Thanks a lot, you guys, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night, morning, and week wherever you're at. Thanks, Mike.